Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host Bryan. We're going to be looking at a special selection today, and this is another one where I got to pick out of a couple of different ones. So Alex M. Lins said that definitely wanted me to check out something from Kardashev, but it was my choice between Snow Sleep or Between Sea and Sky. And I went ahead and picked Between Sea and Sky, primarily because they have a music video, which I know seems kind of odd if anybody's been around the channel for a bit. But something about being able to see the instruments, it was distracting at the beginning of this little journey. And I was finding that I was having a difficult time focusing on the music with a visual stimulus. And I don't know if it's just from having done this for so long or just more practice. But I'm finding that it's actually easier for me to have the music videos where I can see what's going on rather than trying to guess what's going on, especially when it comes to percussion instruments, which I think is sort of my weakest point when it comes to analysis. So, we're going to check out Kardashev's Between Sea and Sky. Dang, that is a full sound right there. Yeah, great contrast there between his singing style and the music. Nice layered growls and screams there. I love those pads that are kind of hanging over everything with his singing. Just filling the space with sounds. I like how there's still a melody line there. Just a huge contrast to what happened before. Oh man, that's so good. Nice bass line right there. A lot of serenity in this section for being so heavy. Really interesting how often they use vocals as a texture behind other vocals, as like another voice of the band. Yeah, that was, dare I say, gorgeous? Assuming that we're talking about a... Whew, what genre? This is definitely a heavier genre, at least, foundationally. I would say we have, something along the lines of maybe like black metal influence in there. So I think it's very interesting that I can walk out of that saying that it's beautiful. But I think that that's a valid. I think that's a valid description of that song. It's beautiful. Sorry. Um, yeah, it's so I'd say that a strong component of at least this track is contrast. They have the extreme heaviness of black metal. We have the the rapid fire bass kicks and the tremolo picking and sort of just filling the space with like a really fuzzy gritty sound. We've got that very tiny fry vocal, very constrained. It doesn't have a very wide sound to it. It's very narrow. I personally kind of think of that as the black metal growl or scream. I don't really know why. But to me, that's just kind of indicative of the style, and that's present. But he also has this very wide growl. So we have all of these very dirty, harsh sounds, but they contrast that with a lot of gorgeous melody writing, gorgeous tones, and clean textures. His clean vocals are angelic. We have the clean, I think it's a guitar, dropping some melodies in the higher range as well. And there's something very wide and maybe some reverb put on it, and it also has like this angelic beauty to it. And it's the way, not only how they contrast these works. We've seen bands in the past who jump between two ideas for stark contrast, but these guys also find ways to meld the two. Even when they're in full black metal mode and they're just filling the space up with a lot of notes, just trying to cram as many notes per second that they can into your ears, they still find a way to inject melody in there somehow. And it really is, I would say, this combination of black metal's texture with more melodic based beauty, um, and them just really trying to find a way to merge those two. And I think they end up doing very well a majority of the time. There were maybe a couple of phrases I was like, that was a little rough, but for the most part, I mean, they found a way to blend the two ideas very well in a way that was sort of mind blowing. Um, not only just because of how well they work, but also how the harshness amplifies the beautiful aspects and vice versa. Um, there were a couple of sections where we had the clean vocals on top of the gritty instruments, and it shouldn't work by all means. There is no reason why that should work as well as it does. But I don't know if it's a mixing thing or just some way that they found compositionally to combine those two. It could be it could have a lot to do with chord and note relationships and just really picking strong relationships to amplify the sounds. I'm not really sure, but it it works so well. I think it works better than if we had clean instrumentation under those clean vocals in some of those sections. Um, just because the extra harmonics that you're going to get, the overtones and the undertones from the distortion, like I said, it's got to be just like perfect note choice because it amplifies the the clean vocals that are being sung over them, and it is just that is good. That is good stuff. And we also see the opposite, where we put some very harsh vocal styles. We got the growls and then those black metal screams, and we worked those in both with clean vocals and some clean instrumentation. I can't think of a specific example for that, but I'm pretty sure we had some of that. Um, but I know for a fact that they used at least once. They put growls underneath clean vocals in a way that sort of used the growls as another texture. We've talked about this in the past. A lot of these harsher vocals, they like to mix the vocals into the music, and it basically becomes another, like fuzzy texture that gets into the wall of sound that they create. And it's done intentionally to keep the spotlight off of the vocalist and to kind of hone in on this singular tone rather than sort of dividing out the instruments from the vocalists. And they did that here in order to highlight the cleans. Like they mixed the growls into it to give the instrumental, the sound floor, an extra width to it and an extra texture, a little bit of extra fuzziness. And they did that while also creating a bit of a gap between clean vocals to elevate them and keep them in the spotlight. And that was genius. This is this is probably going to be my entryway into these types of harsher genres of metal, just because it takes a lot of the things that I'm not a huge fan of when it comes to these genres and mixes it with a lot of the things I am a huge fan of, and somehow they multiply each other, and the things that I enjoy are even better than if they were done in a genre or an environment that I would more personally enjoy. And I'm not, it's just, oh man. It's wild. I'm just really digging it. That other Snow Sleep, I will probably be looking into that one relatively soon, probably on my own. Maybe I'll make a bonus video for it, so you guys can see me react to that one. I don't know at this point. I do know that these guys have quite impressed me with this. The harsh elements are still not exactly my cup of tea, and like I said, the clean elements against it do multiply them as well. So the parts that I am enjoying, I enjoy exceptionally, but the parts that I'm not too keen on also hit a little harder. So a little bit of a double-edged sword with that one, but like I said, this could be my entryway into this, and bands like this could get me more used to hearing the elements that I'm not a big fan of, and that's sort of kind of what it is. You get used to hearing it, and it becomes normal, and your brain sort of normalizes that sound, and then it helps you, it you can get past the sound and start listening to the music, I suppose, is a way to think about that. And I think Kardashev, assuming that this isn't a one-off and they're not like pure black metal on the rest of their album, and then they're like, hey, guys, I also have a very beautiful voice. You want to try that in a song? Like, assuming that that's not the case, and the rest of their stuff is very similar to this, I could probably end up listening to a whole album of this, which is huge as far as anything black metal adjacent. Speaking of clean stuff, the melody lines. I really enjoy how their guitarists find ways to inject melody, even into some of the more rhythmic aspects where they're just jamming out, 16th and 32nd notes just to fill space. They're still usually not sticking to just one or two notes next to each other. They're moving around a little bit. We're not getting, in-depth melodies, but we are getting some sort of melodic movement. We are going between notes. And we're not just going up a half or a whole step. We're actually making some jumps. And there is, if you had played maybe half notes or whole notes rather than strumming out all of these, 16th or 32nd notes, there would actually be a really nice sort of like accompaniment part to a melodic line. So I like how that's like still in the music. Like, even though they're still going for the harshness and brutality of those really quick notes, and having all those attacks in such a short amount of time, there's still a little bit of melody work to it, and they're still focusing a little bit on the notes and what the notes are saying rather than just the sound, the effect that they're getting out of all of these attacks. And then occasionally we do see the guitar actually playing a melody line on top of the really quick playing as well. So yeah, lots of really cool stuff in here that definitely has them standing out, at least in my mind, as far as the genre goes. I don't really want to say that it is black metal. It's sort of black metal adjacent, right? It's a mishmash between kind of like pop rock and black metal. A nice little medium between the two. Well, actually, it's not really a medium. They basically just took the two ends and smashed them together. It's not a medium at all. This is peanut butter and jelly. All right, this is a Reese's cup of black metal right here. So, yeah, I'm excited about this stuff. I will say though, I was taken aback. That dude does not look like when he started growling, that's what I expected him to come out with. When he started with that voice, I was like, what? Gorgeous stuff. All right. Yeah, those are my thoughts on Kardashev's Between Sea and Sky. This is where you guys come in. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought. If you've heard of him before, is there anything else I should be checking out? And is there stuff like this? That's an important question. Like I said, I'm probably going to be diving into some stuff on my own, but kind of having the right mindset. If I go in expecting more like this and I just get hit with raw brutality, oh man, that's just going to turn me off a little bit. So, just going in with the right mindset. If I know that maybe their other songs aren't as melodic, but they still have elements of that, that just helps me, get in the right frame of mind to explore them. So that kind of information is very helpful. Otherwise, you know, I just, they might bounce off me and I'll come back to them another time when I know what I'm getting into. But yeah, there's also a description box if you want to check out the Discord channel, the Discord server or the Patreon campaign. There's links in the description for that, as well as a bunch of other. I have a lot of links to things. I'm a very organized person. I like to keep everything in its place. I have spreadsheets in there too. If you want to check out some spreadsheets for what's been requested, or what's coming up on the special selections, if you want to spoil yourself a bit, the next six, I think it's the next 6 videos are all special selections, so you can spoil yourself on what's coming up. You want to check that out. Also, there's a like, subscribe, and a bell to ring. If you could do those, they help out the channel immensely. We just passed 15K, and I guess we're aiming for 20 now. On our way to 100. We're 15% of the way there, and I guess at 100 I get a plaque or something. I kind of don't see us getting to 100K. That just seems like so far away. We're only 15% of the way there, but it kind of boggles my mind. I'm like, dang, a plaque. I mean, I guess that's somewhere in the pipeline. I don't plan on quitting this anytime soon, so I mean, if we can get 10K a year, that's like 8 more years. When we hit the 10th anniversary, we'll get one. I don't even know, like, what would I do with a YouTube plaque? It's so weird. Anyways, I'm rambling now. I'm prone to that. If you're still here, you're probably used to that, but we're going to try to finish this one up. I'll be back tomorrow. Actually, I have another video coming out as soon as I can get it rendered. I know this is a late upload, so whenever that one's ready, it'll be up as well. Probably about an hour after this one. And I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. UTC on time, hopefully. And yeah, we'll be back with more special selections tomorrow. Alright, until next time, remember to be critical and not cynical of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.